It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hello, Heather. How are you doing?
Oh my, yeah. I could verbally vomit on you. That's how I'm doing.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Just a lot of, just things not going your way. I'm still not feeling well. I'm tired. I'm just, bleh. Yeah. So like really not my best right now.
Yeah. Well, are you still struggling with that same cold?
Yeah. I'm not taking any medicine for it, but then last night I started getting like an itch in my throat, like where, it feels dry, but it really is like kind of rough instead of dry. So I started getting that last night. I was like, am I getting another freaking cold? So I don't know, but I'm just really not proud of myself right now. I'm not in the best shape mentally and physically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's lots of times where you feel like you take, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or a step forward and 2 steps back, however things are going.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to feel defeated after a while.
Yeah, it really is. And and I feel like that's how it goes. It's like either I'm always sick or not sick. Like it's just all or nothing. It's like I'm constantly sick for months and months, or I'm not sick at all. But it's okay. This too shall pass, and so on and so forth, and yada, yada, yada. How are you?
Well, basically chugging along, keeping the dream alive.
Still trying to find out whose it is though, right?
Right, exactly. Is it a dream? And still just trying to get a hold of freaking doctors that don't answer phone calls.
Gross.
I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous. And I don't know if part of it's the staffing issue, just in general, like people don't have enough people working in the office.
Where are people working? If they're not working, exactly. Like I understand. No, don't get me wrong. I understand like jobs that like are paying minimum wage and you're basically a paralegal or something. Yes, 100%. But like these people had to go somewhere.
Well,
so
that's
what jobs did they
I don't
fill?
understand. Well, and not only that, but supposedly the unemployment rate is only like 3%. So
they've like clearly made up jobs.
So somebody but where'd all these people go? Do they fall off the face of the planet? Because I don't understand. So literally I've had problems, I'm trying to get this referral for Luke to go see another neurologist and his doctor's not calling me back. I finally reached out to another doctor that I know, to see if he could, work his doctor networking skills and try and get a hold of the other doctor and just be like, hey, I've got a friend who's really trying hard to get, was a patient of yours, trying to get a hold of you. Anyway, so that's what I've started to do. And then same thing with my gynecologist. Did I tell you this story about them rescheduling me like a bajillion times?
Did they see you and they're like, just like, oh no, we can't, there's nothing we can do.
Well, you know what? I would even be happy with that because then I would actually get to see somebody. They've rescheduled me the first few times. I couldn't even get them on the phone. Like the phone would ring and then the message would pick up and then it would hang up on me.
What?
Yeah. So then I figured out how to make an appointment via the portal. I hate portals.
Oh my God. Yes.
Stupid portals with passwords. And so finally get into a portal, make an appointment. And then they call me not long before my appointment and say, oh, we need to reschedule. Sorry, she got double booked. And I was like, okay.
Well, then book the other person.
Right. So then they reschedule me. Well, then we get closer to that appointment and then I have to reschedule. So I'm trying to call them once again, can't get them on the phone. And then finally they call me. I was like, oh, sweet. They're calling me. And they're like, yeah, we're calling because we need to reschedule. I was like, well, okay, that's fine because I needed to reschedule too.
Oh, good.
So then we reschedule. Right. So then we reschedule again. And finally, I'm like, okay, here comes the appointment. They call me and to confirm the appointment, wrong doctor. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. It's supposed to be with Dr. G, not Dr. R, and 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 I was like, well, no, I specifically wanted to see this doctor, not somebody else. That's why I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
So I had to reschedule again. So I think what I'm going to do is I had a recommendation for another doctor here in town. So I think I'm going to go with her because if they can't even handle freaking scheduling an appointment, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
But this doctor is supposed to be amazing. My mother goes to her and she loves her. And she's like, oh no, Dr. G would be so upset if she knew you were going through this.
Well,
I was
call
like,
her mom.
Right, exactly. I would love to tell her, but I can't get in to see her. So, yeah. So it's stuff like that. That's just like, and this is, this is my health and my son's health.
Yeah.
This is not like I'm trying to order a birthday cake,
yeah. Which is also very important.
Yeah, it's very important, but so that's been very frustrating, and just trying to get everybody healthy and having to go through all this.
Yeah, well, I made the leap to hire some cleaning people.
Oh, you did it?
Well, no, I made the leap to hire somebody, not actual hiring somebody. No, we had somebody come in and I asked them like 3 times following up. And they're like, oh yeah, let me get with my husband. I'll get back to you. I'm like, okay. And nothing. It's been over a month.
So
and I've touched base with them a few times over that month. I'm just like, cool.
So they are going to, so I don't understand exactly. So they showed up.
They came in for an estimate so that, because they need to see my house to tell me how much I'd be charged each month, which is fine. And like what we're looking for. And now I'm just like, cool.
Okay. Now I get it. I thought that they showed up, they worked, but no, they just came in to give you the estimate. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And still haven't given me an estimate.
That's annoying.
I know, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm having to clean my house, which is still fine, but it adds more stress to the stress bucket,
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So, today's topic is about stress buckets and just, because there's just so much stress in my life right now. And many of you have the same issue. So it's not, I'm not alone in this. I know that. So our topic today is just, I feel like when I am stressed and I wake up at 3 a.m. like I did today, that I just get off schedule so easily. And then my whole freaking day is off. And so like this morning I wake up at 3. I'm like, I just don't have the energy right now to start working or being productive. So I'm just going to scroll on my phone. And next thing I know, it's like an hour and a half later. I don't scroll that long. I typically do not. Like I typically scroll about 10-minute bursts a couple times a day. Like it's not very often.
Yeah.
And so then next thing I know, it's like 4:45. And I'm like, well, my alarm goes off in 15 minutes. And then I start getting really tired. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just lay down after my alarm goes off. So then I had like an hour sleep after my alarm went off. But then I'm like, oh, great. Now it's 6:00. And so I'm behind me. So
do you ever find too, like when you're stressed, like you said, scrolling for as long as you did, which is not typical for you. It's almost like you start to, you just get so overwhelmed. It's like you start to shut down and you can't get anything accomplished because you're so stressed. And you would think it would help you kick it into high gear, but no, instead you like procrastinate more. At least I do. And then you get, you're dug even deeper into the lack of productivity and the big ball of stress in the stress bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that, there's this article from Bustle that, lists the different ways to basically stick to your schedule, to try and avoid filling up the stress bucket more, even though it's so easy to procrastinate, and how to kind of just focus and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to get this done from this time to this time. So there are a couple tips in here on bustle.com.
And let me tell my first tip real quick, but it's not in this article. That I know. I'm pretty sure it's not in this article. What I really should have done at 3 a.m. is gone to the couch and listened to a meditation, sound, and gone through a meditation on sleep just to get back to sleep. That's my first mistake. I should have done that.
Yeah.
And then had that not happen, or had I stuck with that, I probably would have gotten sleep. But if I didn't, I still would have at least felt better just by breathing. Because without meditation, I'm really noticing that if I don't do it, I'm just like, so
yeah.
Anyways, yes.
Yeah.
So this article Vera. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, the first thing it says is to give what you're doing your undivided attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're all guilty of that, especially right now with there's so much information coming at you between your phone and your computer and your Alexa, it's like ping, 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 ping. It's hard to stay totally focused. So it says you might find yourself scrolling on your phone in the middle of a project and, because you need a break. Well, this article says don't do that. But if you do feel like, you can't work on this project for 3 hours straight, schedule a break for yourself. So schedule, say, okay, I'm going to work for an hour and a half, and then I'm going to watch a half-hour Netflix show and have a snack or do something for half an hour. And then I'm going to go back for an hour and a half and finish the project. So it says to go ahead, not that you can't take a break, but schedule the break so that you're not next thing you know, scrolling for an hour and a half on your phone.
Yeah. The productivity course I'm taking, and I've heard this before.
That hasn't been finished yet, by the way.
But it's almost. I'm 8 days out of 10. Oh my gosh!
All right.
My gosh! I took the weekend off. I'm sorry. So I think it's called the Pomodoro, something, and it's like you work for 25 to 30 minutes and then you take 5 minutes off, because this is especially good when you're studying. And so when you're doing any kind of studying or work or whatever, you remember the beginning and the end, but the middle is kind of hazy. And so the idea is that you're remembering the beginning and the end, and it's such a compact amount of time that there's very little in the middle that you're going to forget. And so doing that 25-5, and that and it's for really anything, just having a balance of doing work and then getting up and moving your body and just, getting blood flow and what have you back to your brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, even when I was in college and even taking standardized tests, after a certain point, I would find myself starting to fall asleep. And I could not, it would be like, focus. So, and I don't think I'm the only one. I mean, I think that's really a natural thing. So yeah, the 25-5, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember taking my most recent certification exam, and I had to sit there it was a 4-hour long test. I got one break. And if I took a break in between, it would count against the time. And then there was a lot of different stipulations. So I just had to bounce my leg and try to focus my leg because I had to pee so bad. By the end of it, I was like, okay, bye.
Peace out. Get it. All right. The next one it says is create realistic deadlines. So instead of taking a whole bunch of stuff and jimmying them, putting them all into just an 8-hour workday, give yourself those realistic deadlines. Yeah. Because if answering emails takes longer than an hour, then you can allow yourself to schedule a bigger time slot, make sure you stay on track. So, create a buffer. I do this because my deadlines used to be unrealistic.
Mine are.
Even too, I'd be bad about being late places sometimes because I would think, oh, it's only going to take me 20 minutes to get there. Well, assume it's going to take 30. That way you're not stressed out, and you might be a little early, but that's better than being late. So the same thing with deadlines, to allow yourself, if you want to check emails and you think, oh, it'll take an hour, give yourself maybe an hour and 15 minutes. So you have a buffer.
And also, and that goes for personal goals as well. Don't just think that, I can clean my house in 2 hours. Give yourself some realistic goals. And just also, I think, saying to yourself, well, that's just not going to get done. And I have to be okay with that.
Yes. Well, yeah. And that's one of the running themes of our podcast is don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard on yourself. The next one is train yourself to avoid distractions.
I have no guidance on this.
I know. Well, it says letting your mind wander is a habit. And just with anything you're disciplined with, you can force yourself to break the habit with some training.
It is not a habit. Not with us people with ADHD. Forget it.
Well, it says practice concentration by turning off all distractions and committing your attention to a single task. So it says start small, maybe 5 minutes a day, and work up to larger chunks of time. So if you find your mind wandering, just return to the task at hand. So if you find yourself itching to check Instagram or take a quick chocolate break, just tell yourself to keep working. So it kind of fits in with one of the previous ones, which was you can take a break, but don't take it until it's the scheduled time for the break.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let yourself veer off. Stay focused.
Unless you get an emergency. So.
Well, of course, yeah. Which that happens too when you're a mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And somebody, my old boss, I think, said that to put like your social media and everything on your second page of your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do that a lot where I'm like, I go in there to do something. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on with blah, blah, blah. And then I go on
that's
social
a good
media
point.
And then I forget.
Yes, I find myself doing that too.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
sorry.
Try that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think I'm going to do that because, I mean, how many times do you pick up your phone to check your email and then you see that you have a Facebook notification? You're like, oh, yeah, I'll just check that real quick. And yeah, totally. The next one is give your schedule regular glances. So when you create said schedule, keep yourself focused by checking in with your schedule and remind yourself, oh, yeah, okay, I promised myself that I was going to do XYZ until 1:00. What time is it? And do I remember that correctly? And what am I doing after 1:00? Just that keeps you focused on the schedule and, from being sidelined as frequently.
And check it the night before too, because there's sometimes on occasion, I'll add something at like 7 a.m. this podcast recording and I'll forget.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I always check my schedule before I go to bed at night. That kind of de-stresses me a little bit. Like, okay.
And it can also stress you. So tip, get a Post-it note, write your time, whatever meeting at whatever time on your mirror. So you don't even have to think about that.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's not bad. Then it's just right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you wake up and like go to brush your teeth, which I hope is one of the first things you do in the morning. Yeah.
So some of this is kind of like, it says always add cushion time between each task, which I again, falls in line with one of the previous ones, which was, having, realistic deadlines. So give yourself some breathing room in your schedule. And then it says, number 6 is for the hard tasks, schedule them into off hours. So if you really need to, no, don't like it. It says when you really need to lock yourself down and concentrate, try scheduling those tasks during off hours where you won't run into a lot of distractions.
I agree. I think I do get my best work done when nobody's emailing me 100% because I have to be in my email to answer a lot of the questions I have. So I automatically see it. There's nothing there. I can't get around it.
Yeah. No, well, and there is, which I wish I was more of a morning person. And at night, it's hard for me to be super productive at night because to me, it's like, okay, I'm winding my day down. Yeah, and you're tired. But the times and when I have been disciplined enough to get up early in the morning, it is kind of nice, like we've talked about before, because people aren't awake and people are, the world is quiet, and you can like just get some stuff done before everybody else starts getting up, which is kind of nice. But that would fit into that if you wanted to try and schedule stuff in off hours, So, and then finally, the number 7 is schedule work and play in the same spot to keep yourself balanced. So it says you might have all your work planned and scheduled to a T, but when a friend comes ringing to grab a cup of coffee or to grab a burger after work, your little pretty schedule can take a hit. So how do you avoid that? It says schedule work and play in one place so you can see how much time and room you have for each. It says, let's see. So if you keep all your tasks, both work and play, in one spot, you can keep an eye on deadlines and projects multiple times a day and allow yourself that buffer time like we talked about previously. So what this person in the article says, when I first began my public relations work, I often canceled plans with friends because projects would take longer than I expected. I didn't feel I was getting anything done. Then I started scheduling both my professional and personal commitments in one place and assigning equal importance to both. This way I can really see how much time I have for each. So in other words, when you're making your schedule, make your schedule, work project and then fun stuff and put it all right there. So that way, if you make plans to have lunch with a friend, put that in there right with your work stuff. Don't have a schedule for your work stuff and then a schedule for your social fun stuff.
Yeah, I thought they were saying be in the same place, like have your friend and like try to work too. Like that sounds terrible.
Like come to my office and have some tequila. Woo!
Yeah, I was like, that sounds horrible. That sounds not productive at all.
No, in one place, meaning in one schedule for everything. And I do that. So that way, if something comes up and I know I have that lunch scheduled with my girlfriends, I'll say to myself, okay, can I like shift some of this work stuff that's piling up to a later part of the day so I don't miss lunch, So you shuffle it around, because doing something fun is, keeps you alive, if you don't allow yourself a little bit of a breather, even if it's just lunch or a cup of coffee with somebody that you care about,
Yeah, agreed.
So that's the top 7 tips on bustle.com on how to manage your life and be productive and keep the stress bucket from overflowing.
Yeah, I feel like I know I've heard a lot of people saying they schedule themselves for everything, and I feel like that would be so stressful. To me, I just feel like looking at my calendar and seeing all those meetings or like space, I'm like,
Yeah. See, I do. If you look at my calendar on my phone, it has tons of stuff on there.
Yeah.
But if you know that all that stuff, though, some of it's fun and some of it's fun stuff, if you tell yourself when you look at it, I don't know. To me, again, it just makes me feel like I've got it all lined up and I know what's happening, and it helps keep me on track.
Maybe. I guess I just equated all doing like, not necessarily bleh, but not something I really am gung-ho about.
Yeah.
So
whatever works for you, Heather.
I know. So if you have any productivity tips or how to stay on your schedule and just
keep the stress monsters away.
Man, I feel like, because you really is. They're monsters. They're monsters. I know.
Yes. I can't mom today podcast at gmail.com is our email. And then of course, I can't mom today podcast is all over Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We're all there.
So hit us up.
Yes.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.